Alright guys, I wanted to talk about this upcoming AA psychological action horror game that's actually being made in the Unreal 5 engine. The game is said to take inspiration from the classics in the genre. So if you're a fan of Silent Hill, Resident Evil, or Alan Wake, this may be a game that you'd be interested in. And I'm of course talking about Straysouls. Let's take a look at this newly released trailer together and see if this game is going to be actually something special. But before we take a deep dive into Daniel's crazy grandmother's cult, I want to take a brief moment and welcome anyone new to the channel. If you are new, please consider subscribing. I got a ton of stuff in the works that I'd love to share with you all. Also, if you do happen to enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. But anyways guys, we got a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's get into it.
When my grandmother died, she left me her house. My own place. No rent, no mortgage. I thought I'd won the lottery. But all that changed after I met Martha. There's no way this is real.
Alright, so yes, so far the game's plot seems like your typical generic horror movie setup about someone that inherits a house from a relative. In this case, Daniel gets his grandmother's house. And of course, at first, while this does seem like a dream to come true, it in fact becomes a nightmare for a protagonist. I've seen this story so many times, but whatever. However, in this case, Daniel is just a teenager in the game. I'm assuming he's old, like an older teenager, like 18 or 19. And realistically, in this economic climate, this kid should just be happy to have a house, whether it's haunted or not. He has a house, although it was free. And Daniel is soon going to learn that there's no such thing as a free lunch. But let's keep the trailer going.
This is real.
I get that this is all really weird, but there are a few things you need to understand. I know some things about your grandmother. Best I can piece it together, she was someone pretty high up in a secret society.
Martha says I'm not safe. That I should be prepared to defend myself in case those cultist nutbags come looking for me. I didn't win any lottery. I inherited a nightmare I can't wake up from.
Okay, so we got quite a bit to unpack here. First of all, I definitely see the Silent Hill vibes in this game for sure. And it's not just the fog effects, it's not just the way the monsters look and all that stuff. It's also the story points we already know. For instance, Daniel is obviously connected to the cult that's referenced in the trailer because it states that his grandmother was high up in the secret society. Well, there's your connection. That reminds me of Silent Hill 1, where Cheryl was pulled towards Silent Hill because of her connection to the cult. She was connected through the cult through Alyssa and through Dahlia and all that sort of nonsense. So I already see some of that lining up with this game, and honestly, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind if a game kind of mimics or borrows plot points from other games or movie storylines, especially in the horror genre. Horror movies could kind of get away with generic plots as long as they're willing to add their own little twist and put their own little charm into it. After all, I do enjoy something completely original, but I do understand that not everything can be groundbreaking, and sometimes more of the popcorn flick experience could be just as rewarding as something that's just completely unique and original from the get-go. But let's also move on and discuss the small amount of gameplay that was shown. First of all, I love that this game has combat. So many of these budget type of horror games become first-person walking simulators. So it's nice to see that we're actually going to get some action and gunplay in this title. I mean, after all, it is referred on the Twitter page as an action horror game. And boy, does it seem like the action is over the top. First of all, just look at the monster that Daniel shoots and kills. He shoots it with a pistol and it literally explodes. He basically bodies this thing like he shot it with a 12 gauge at point blank range, but is a pistol, is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm all about it. Like I said before, this is a small budget title, so maybe this over the top death animation is going to just add to the magic and charm of the game. But let's move on and finish up the trailer.
Every family's got secrets, but not like mine.
Daniel, no!
So there we pretty much have it. Overall, I'm actually intrigued by this game, and I do want to play it when it comes out. I know there's going to be some jank, I know it's going to be kind of wonky, after all it is a budget title, but I think it looks pretty good. Now, what's really cool about this is why this game resembles Silent Hill. It actually has some of the people that worked on Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's really cool. So that's most likely why we see a ton of that Silent Hill DNA in the game. So yes, this does seem very interesting. However, I will admit, this game probably has gone through some growing pains during development. After all, the original announcement trailer looks very different from what we recently got. Just look at this trip of the original announcement trailer that came out just a couple of years ago. So yes, you could obviously see that some changes were made to Daniel from the announcement trailer to the recent trailer that we just got. And I don't think that's a bad sign. I don't think that they've had some adjustments through development, especially if it's just character models, is necessarily something we should be concerned about. The game is being published by Versus Evil, a small indie game publisher, and with the creative people that worked on Silent Hill, The Medium, and so forth, they probably have a lot of thoughts that they want to put into the game and make some adjustments along the way. And because they're working with a smaller publisher, hopefully there's not as much red tape that they have to get through. Let's say if they were working with a bigger publisher, because I hear a ton of horror stories where a developer has this creative idea and it takes months to get through the red tape to put it in the game. So hopefully, because it's a smaller publisher, they're able to get their ideas in, especially with such a talented creative group of developers. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Overall, this is something I'm going to keep my eye on. And if you don't mind smaller budget horror games and you're willing to overlook the jankiness, from the lack of polish there might be due to, not an insane budget the game has, then you should definitely keep your eye on this as well. This game is coming out this fall to Steam and next-gen consoles. So if you play on computer, Xbox, or PlayStation, you're good to go. It also is stated that the game is coming to last-gen consoles. So if you haven't upgraded to the current gen, you can still enjoy this game too. So we got something we all could look forward to coming this fall. But I want to hear what you all think. Are you guys excited about this game? Is this something you're going to play later this year? Also, what are some other indie or AA horror games that you guys have played and enjoyed? Let me know in the comments down below. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.